goes up on the window. This is the leading offensive rebounding team in the conference. A lot of times that has to do with the fact that you're not the best shooting team, but consider this, they're also second in terms of the number of percentage of the shots that they get. So this is a team that makes a lot of effort plays.
And Steve Peichel, 11 wins on the year, same amount as Indiana. Most of those wins coming in the non-conference schedule. Tom Crean in his 9th year here in Bloomington. Almost a must-win for his club today. They're just 1-3 in conference. They've dropped 4 of their last 5 games. Things are a little tense here in Bloomington. But an opportunity to get a win today against Rutgers and silence some of those critics.
Keep an eye on the matchup. Corey Sanders has started to really take pride in his defensive aspect of his ball game. He will draw the primary assignment on James Blackman Jr. He did an admirable job last week versus Peter Jock, the conference's leading scorer.
Man defense for Rutgers coming out of the gate for Steve Peichel. Indiana loves to run, and there's Blackman from 3, and he was short on his first shot, rebounded by Nigel Johnson. Be interesting to see how the offense runs for Rutgers today. They don't necessarily play fast, but they don't play slow either. Go inside immediately to Saw, and he's doubled and fouled by Josh Newkirk on the backside.
And you want to double on Saw, but you don't have to double that aggressively, Jeff. He's not going to score. That's not his aspect of the game. You almost want to come down and fake at him, dive, and then go back outside to the shooter.
Averaging just over 4 points a game. C.J. Geddes with a baseline jumper, too strong, and the rebound pulled down by Jawan Morgan.
Good job of transition defense right there by Rutgers, and in particular Sanders.
That's going to be a big key for Rutgers here this afternoon, and Thomas Bryant walked with it. Good face-up defense by C.J. Geddes. Bryant faster than Geddes, but C.J. certainly smart on the defensive end.
It takes a while to get around Geddes. He's a big young man.
And forced there that time by Rutgers. We saw last week in Iowa City. A couple of stone walls on a baseline. C.J. Geddes, you just plant your foot, you're not going anywhere.
Get these walls up. You don't just get one wall, you get the whole house.
Go back inside to Bryant. Trying to go to the same move. Up and under with the left hand. Too strong. Good defense again by Geddes.
Really good job by Geddes of moving his feet and then maintaining verticality. Bryant trying to draw contact.
Josh Newkirk has the assignment of covering Corey Sanders.
You can see what Rutgers is trying to do. They're trying to make Thomas Bryant guard that high ball screen.
An offensive rebound. Rutgers is already going back for a transition defense.
And that is what Rutgers does. They're the leading offensive rebounding team right now in the conference.
Tough shot by Corey Sanders over the much taller Thomas Bryant. Bryant now from 3, and he's short. Saw comes up with the rebound.
And look for Rutgers as this game unfolds. They'll run when the opportunity is there. Good job of recovery by Bryant. But Geddes stays with the play. But on the defensive end, they've been primarily man-to-man. But look for Rutgers as this game unfolds to kind of mix and match their defenses, especially with Freeman seemingly not available.
Freeman has been battling the flu the last couple of days. Steve Peichel said couldn't attend shoot-around, couldn't practice the last couple of days. If he's available, it'll be off the bench.
Nice job. Really good job by Johnson.
And Thomas Bryant's going to go to the line. Robert Johnson, just some of the small things that he does to make this team better.
And the small thing he does is get smaller on the double team. And what I mean by that, the double team comes out, and watch what Johnson does. Low man wins. He's able to turn the corner, then makes another solid basketball decision, Jeff. He doesn't take that extra dribble and draw the potential offensive foul, and a good leave at the rim. Solid play all around by Robert Johnson.
Thomas Bryant at the line, 75% free throw shooter on the year. And a miss from Bryant. Still looking for their first points. You know they're going to come. This is the top scoring team in the conference. Averaging 85 a game and 50% shooting, and the crowd trying to get behind their Hoosiers.
Isn't this kind of reminiscent of the start we saw a week ago in Iowa City, where Rutgers came out and just, you know, kind of made a couple of hustle plays and built an early lead, and Iowa had to battle back.
Talking with Steve Keichel before the game today, it's all about sustaining that. And they play hard defense for about 36 minutes, trying to get that last 4. Trying to knock down some shots, too. Rutgers with Sanders driving to the hoop. That's an aggressive play.
And a good job by Sanders at utilizing the crossover dribble. Got just enough of a rub screen up high to get to the rim and complete.
Good drive, and Juwan Morgan finishes it off. There was a foul underneath. Indiana cuts the deficit in half at 6-3.
Newkirk does a good job, Jeff, of turning the corner with the left hand, drawing the attention. This is a staple of what Indiana wants to do, and Morgan makes himself available, able to slide to the opposite side, a chance at a three-point play.
Josh Newkirk, transfer from Pitt. Nobody can fill the shoes of Yogi Ferrell. I mean, that's a very tall order. Juwan Morgan finishes off the three-point play, but he's done an admirable job playing the point guard position.
And not just the tangibles that were put forth by Yogi Ferrell, but I think with this young Indiana squad, what has been missing the most, apparently, has been some of the intangibles. That was a guy that had been around the program for 4 years, and when the point guard assumes that leadership role, as Corey Sanders does for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, it makes the job easier for everyone else.
Could not have started better for Corey Sanders in this ball game. Indiana starting to move the basketball a little bit on the offensive end. They need it. Robert Johnson from 3.
Good block out by Sanders as well.
Up ahead, and the flush by Eugene Omoruyi.
And you mentioned it earlier, Jeff. This is a team in Rutgers that will be opportunistic with their running opportunities. That's not their staple, but they recognized they had Indiana. Everyone was aggressively crashing the offensive boards, and Rutgers sensed that, got an easy basket.
Sanders has been all over James Blackman early on in this ball game. Blackman nearly lost it.
He's got a mismatch with Saw.
3 to shoot. Bryant up and over everybody. Tough to cover.
Nice recognition by Blackman there, Jeff, that Saw was out of his comfort zone defensively. He drove the big guy. He recognized he had a mismatch and found it in Bryant.
Tired bodies out there. Subs getting ready to come in. Deshaun Freeman is on the sideline for Rutgers, getting ready to check in. That's a good sign, trying to gut it out. Getty straight away. Not going to miss that.
Nice job by Getty for stepping into that. It's got to be the Stockings.
Makes him look faster. I know that. Not going to win any verticality contests, but
I understand.
They still count.
I understand.
7-point lead for Rutgers. Blackman driving. Great defense by Sanders. Out of bounds, going to the Scarlet Knights. Great start.
Defensively, Rutgers, that's what they aim to have. Opportunity to run and themselves. Rutgers will make you pay in the open floor. And right now, Rutgers flying high in Bloomington.
Out of the Indianapolis area.
And as you take a look at that graphic that tells the story of their last 5, if you look forward to the next 5 after this tilt at home versus Rutgers, 4 of the next 5 are away from Bloomington. So that's what makes this game so important for a number of reasons. One, Indiana wants to get back in the winning column, but they need some momentum heading on the road for a very tough stretch as we approach the midway point of conference play.
Rutgers with Deshaun Freeman on the floor for the first time. Again, battling illness for the last couple of days, but he's on the floor with a mismatch. Up and over Blackman, and he got the roll.
Good recognition by Rutgers in sensing that they did have that mismatch on the switch with Blackman on Freeman, and they found it.
Freeman with back-to-back double-doubles, including 12 points and a career-high 15 boards last time out. And already imposing his will on the defensive end.
Back-to-back double-doubles, 8 total for the junior college transfer, Deshaun Freeman.
Rutgers getting some really good shots. They've made 6 in a row from the floor. On the floor for the first time, Mike Williams nearly went over the half-court line. 5 to shoot. And good defense that time. And up ahead, James Blackman lays it up and in. possession defensively for the Hoosiers.
Rutgers not able to get anything going toward the basket via dribble penetration or a post touch.
OG Anunoby on the floor for the first time. Again, Blackman was fronted by Freeman, but Freeman stuck out his backside and picked up the offensive foul.
Freeman was trying to walk Blackman up the lane. What I mean by that was to take him up the lane to allow a better passing angle. If he would have held that inside arm, that left arm, he would have had the opportunity for a three-point play potentially, but he extended the inside arm, drew the attention of the official in the push-off.
Some reserves in there for Hoosiers. But right now, Rutgers dominating the rebound margin, 9-1. This is an Indiana team that has out-rebounded their opponents every game this year.
Good duck in. Really good, strong duck in.
Three by Blackman. A really nice calls by Sanders, but an offensive rebound, another opportunity.
Nice sequence off the bench for Deron Davis of Indiana. It started with the duck in. He kicks it out to Blackman, who's not able to convert, but he keeps the possession alive for Indiana by being very active on the offensive glass.
Davis just a freshman, 12 minutes against Maryland. Still trying to figure it out offensively, but when you have guys like Bryant and Davis on the floor, very difficult to defend, especially when one is replacing the other. Devontae Green on the floor running the point. Blackman with a nice move inside to Davis.
Really nice lift off the bench. Good to see Davis get rewarded. They were able to retain possession. Indiana was on that sequence because of two effort plays by Davis.
Freeman. Wow, what a play. Circus shot.
And it looked awkward. That was not a walk.
Foul on the drive as Johnson was trying to get by the defender Williams, but Mike picks up his second personal.
So you can take two steps. And that's I don't know if you would qualify as a Euro step, maybe a Euro zone step potentially. But you had the opportunity to go 1 and 2. He didn't take that third step. It looked awkward, but that's a legitimate play.
That's a guy that has not been able to keep anything down for the last 2 days. He looks pretty darn good so far.
Now he knows how he feels when you have to work with me.
Tough shot, and the putback no by Anunoby. Issa Chom, freshman on the floor. Freeman going around, and he missed the shot. Anunoby altered it.
Freeman is gassed right now. I don't know how much longer he can stay out there because he is really, really tired.
Blackman got the rejection from Jallo, and Blackman finished it off. 5-point lead for Rutgers. Deshaun Freeman just trying to gut this one through.
I bet you they bring in Candida Saw here at the next opportunity because Freeman is really gassed.
Here he comes over to the table. And C.J. Getty's coming over too. Sanders with the floater, no, and Jallo couldn't corral the rebound. Hoosiers looking for more points. Nice feed inside, and Anunoby lays it up and in.
That was a nice feed, but how about the catch and athleticism by Anunoby? That pass appeared as if it was going out of bounds, and he didn't catch it cleanly on the first opportunity, but showing tremendous athleticism in the open floor. This is what Indiana wants to do. They want to run. Scarlet Knights, not so much.
Great program to watch, that's for sure. Rutgers and Indiana came into that Final Four undefeated. UCLA and Michigan. And that's as fun a Final Four as you'll ever find, Sean.
James Bailey, Eddie Jordan for the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers, Indiana and Michigan, two Big Ten teams meeting in the NCAA championship game in Philadelphia. And the other participant, a first postseason after John Wood for the Bruins.
Robert Johnson going the other way, finishes on a poor pass that time by Omoruyi. This is the run for Indiana. It's a 10-2 run as Geddes tries to go baseline. He walked. Good defense by Davis.
5 turnovers now for the Scarlet Knights versus only 1 for Indiana. We talked about at the top of the telecast, Jeff, how important it was to take care of the basketball if you're Indiana, especially if you want to push the pace, and thus far that has been to their advantage.
Indiana, the team ranked dead last in the conference in turnovers per game, almost 15 and a half a game. Davis trying to get around Geddes, and Candido had it ripped away. Nice play by Anunoby. And Green knocks down the jumper, and the Hoosiers have their first lead.
That's a tough break for Rutgers. That's a play in a year Saul will probably be able to maintain. He just wasn't strong enough to maintain the effort by Indiana. He needs to corral that with two hands and shin the basketball.
Deshaun Freeman, who looked gassed at the last timeout, he's getting ready to check back in after a short break.
Yeah, he's going to do probably a couple minute spurts. That's all I think he has physically in the tank.
Sanders, tough shot over Anunoby, and there was a foul on OG.
Last time down the floor for Indiana. Now watch Saw. He needs to chin that. And what I mean by that, Jeff, not swing your elbows, but have two hands on it, put it right underneath your chin, and don't allow a guard to come in there and pry it loose. A year from now, he'll corral that rebound, and they'll go the other way. But fortunately for the Scarlet Knights, they get the ball in the hands of Corey Sanders. And what he did is some experience. He put his shoulder right to the rim and made the defender initiate contact.
It's going to be a tough matchup for Sanders with Anunoby, one of the best defenders in the conference. Deshaun Freeman checks back into the ball game for Candido Saw. Sanders perfect from the floor so far and makes 1 out of 2 from the free throw strike. He's got 8 points.
If I'm Indiana right now, I'm going to make sure that I get the ball to Anunoby and test Deshaun Freeman because he's not playing at full physical strength. Run him off a couple screens and make Freeman guard him.
Curtis Jones running the point, step back three, buried it.
He did that twice against Maryland last time out. Came off the bench and knocked down some triples and picking up right where he left off.
Didn't look like a freshman with that move. Jonathan Laurent on the floor for Rutgers. They go down low. Omoruyi.
Nice pass.
Ed Geddes trying to flip it from underneath the hoop, and he's going to go to the line. What a pass by Omoruyi.
Really good job by Omoruyi of waiting for the double team and then a dive cut by Geddes. I don't think Geddes was expecting the pass because if he expects the pass, look, you don't need the dribble. If he's able to go right up, he scores on the strong side of the rim. But I think he was surprised that that pass was able to make its way through.
Rutgers keeping this one close, under 9.5 minutes to go. Geddes misses the first foul shot. Thomas Bryant, James Blackman checking in for Davis. And for Robert Johnson.
This has been an area, we talked about the shooting woes of Rutgers, especially from three-point line, but they're also next to last in free throw shooting. And in a close game, you can't afford to leave freebies. You just can't afford to leave them up there. That's a difficult situation for Geddes, who's a pretty good free throw shooter at about 74%.
Candido Saw is going to check in. Freeman, after picking up a personal foul, trying to box out Anunoby for an offensive rebound. He heads to the bench. One of those short spurts, almost like a line change in hockey.
The big thing while he's over there is you don't want to sit too long because you cool off, and he's going to need as many fluids as he can possibly get.
There's another deep three. Rattles in and out. Bryant with an offensive foul as he was trying to grab the rebound past Geddes.
But you know what? If you're Indiana, you can live with that foul. It's a hustle play. Geddes didn't necessarily get a clean block out, but he's so big. And if he's able to reach over the top, it's not necessarily an over the back unless you make contact, and you saw him make contact with the shoulder of Geddes.
Going down low, Omoruyi, and he walked with it. He's got the size advantage. We've seen that a few times where Indiana putting the smaller defenders on these larger wing players like Omoruyi and Freeman when he was in there.
Indiana pretty fortunate there because it was a walk by Omoruyi, but you almost could have called that knee in the back defensively. Now you can put a forearm back there, an arm bar, but you can't utilize and try to root the guy out. Omoruyi, however, did walk.
Rutgers playing tough on the defensive end.
I mean, Sanders is doing everything he can to keep Blackman in front.
That's a great defensive effort by Sanders, but a better shot by Blackman.
I mean, if he was wearing a cap, he'd have to tip it. I mean, there's nothing else that Sanders can do. He came off a set of staggers right there, but the quick release of Blackman just that much better.
Trying to find some offense here, Rutgers. Sanders, really their only true scorer that's on the floor. Now a turnover. And Anunoby going the other way. And a foul. Still finish the dunk despite the push.
That is some strength. And Anunoby hops the little dribble handoff, able to get in there. And watch how much ground he covers. I mean, it is amazing how much ground this young man can cover, either just laterally moving his feet or with the dribble. I mean, he is just eating up the hardwood. There's no question that's a foul.
The officials are going over to the monitor right now to check on the intent of it, whether it's going to be a flagrant 1, flagrant 2, Omoruyi on the bench,
or just a common foul.
Yep.
Which my instincts tell me it will probably just be a common foul. You know, he did, you know, kind of swing at the basketball. I'll be surprised if it's anything else. If it was anything else, it would be a flagrant 1, not a flagrant 2. But I mean, he just covers so much ground. I mean, he went from essentially 3/4 court and was able to cover that in about 2 dribbles. And you see some guys, they can't get, oh, they do call it a flagrant 1. They cover that much ground, and it takes them 4 or 5 dribbles from half court.
Shot on the shoulder of OG Anunoby. Officials coming over and letting us know that there was no play on the ball.
So it's an F1, a flagrant 1. And that's just a tough sequence for Rutgers. Good job by Anunoby of honoring the scouting report initially, because he hopped that dribble handoff. You know, you could tell he'd been paying attention during the scouting report. And then, how about the strength? Because that wasn't just a swipe. I mean, he took some pretty good contact on that right shoulder and was able to send it in.
Anunoby 1 out of 2. He's going to get another foul shot here. Well, no, he won't. I beg your pardon. They're just going to get possession. This has the potential to be a 5-point swing, maybe 6.
And it started on the defensive end for Indiana. You know, they've kind of been stagnant offensively for periods of time, but they have ratcheted up the defensive intensity.
Extended run here of 21-2 for the Hoosiers.
Good job by Johnson moving his feet.
Blackman, good ball fake. Shot was short, though. Thomas Bryant, though, with the offensive rebound. In a good few minutes here for Indiana. I think after that first media timeout, Tom Crean decided, let's get going. And Anunoby short. And here comes Rutgers looking for points in a big way.
Smart play by Johnson to pulling up. You don't want to run. You just don't have the personnel. Run opportunistically, but don't let Indiana get you out of your comfort pace.
Foul before the shot. Sanders trying to initiate the offense. The Hoosiers are hot here at home. They're up by 8 on the visiting Scarlet Knights. There was a moment Steve Peichel said, hey, listen, we got to get this program, when he was at Stony Brook, up and running. Nothing better than 4-time American East Coach of the Year, and now trying to build that type of foundation here at Rutgers.
And he built it with the Sea Wolves, with rebounding and defense initially, until the recruiting was able to pick up, most notably in the form of Jamil Warney, which capped off with an NCAA tournament appearance last season for Stony Brook.
First field goal for Rutgers since the 12:29 mark here in this first half. Robert Johnson just picked up his second personal foul, and Corey Sanders with a chance at a 3-point play.
Really nice execution off the inbounds by Rutgers in that situation. They cleared the side of the floor. They got Sanders isolated one-on-one on the baseline. Really good job of spacing by Rutgers in that situation.
He's got a game-high 11. He's played great defense to this point on James Blackman, too. Blackman with 6 points, but just 3 of 8 from the floor.
Nice hesitation. Really good job by Blackman. That hesitation dribble got the defender up out of his stance just enough, Jeff, to allow that extra burst, because they thought he was going to pull up. Watch him on the ball reversal. Now this hesitation right there, that allows him to turn the corner and take the contact and shoot a couple.
Picked up Ibrahima Jallo with a personal foul. Dorson came over on the backside, got the block, but it was Jallo that got him with the body.
And it's not always, you don't have to go 100 miles an hour all the time. Change of pace, you know, coming from baseball. You know, you don't always want to throw the 90-mile-an-hour heater unless you're Chapman, right? You need to mix some other things in there, and Blackman showed you why there.
Some of the subtleties that he started to learn in his time here at Indiana. 6-point lead for the Hoosiers. 7 minutes to play in the first half. Sanders has been almost entirely the offense for Rutgers. Number 21.
Newkirk working really hard. And he got caught up on a screen, and Sanders sensed that, understood that Bryant wasn't going to be able to close all the way out.
Took your cap to a great half for Sanders. Juwan Morgan wide open. And Thomas Bryant with another offensive rebound. Tough shot. And Laurent got it stripped away by Green. Morgan!
Yeah, someone needs to come back and help him. He has to burn a timeout because Sanders took the ball out of bounds and all of his teammates ran the other way. Dorson was the last guy to recognize it, but Sanders wisely doesn't compound one mistake with another. You don't secure the basketball. Indiana says, I'll take that. That's the second time when you don't shin it. Indiana makes you pay. They're rolling here in Bloomington.
Followed by Wisconsin-Ohio State men's hockey at 7 p.m. Hoops and hockey from the Garden coming up. Rutgers shot the ball pretty well so far here in this first half, but 9 turnovers.
Really good job right there by Newkirk. Newkirk did his job and then some because he got the ball out of the hands of Corey Sanders.
Bandito saw, if you're Indiana, you'll let him take that three all day. Bryant feeds through the double, and he's fired up.
And you can see right now Rutgers trying to find something defensively. A little bit of a switch up there, went to kind of a matchup zone, and good job by Indiana pounding it inside to Bryant.
7 points for Thomas, turnover number 10. Blackman up ahead. And a foul. And they might go take another look at this one, too.
And I think we saw there was not a whole lot of ill intent, but they're probably going to take a look at this, to your point, because he tried to pull up, but at the last second, he extends his arm. You know, Saunders would have been better off to let this go. And you can see the hand in the back. There's no question they're going to take a look at this one, and they should. And there wasn't anything malicious being employed by Saw. I think he wanted to pull up. He knew that's what he should do. But when he extended that arm, when Blackman's going into the shooting motion, that's something they have to take a look at, and again, will probably call.
It's a very subtle tap. Blackman was trying to throw it down, realized he didn't have enough hooch behind on the jump, I think, and maybe it was this little push that prohibited it.
And you have to defend an airborne player. There's no question about it. You have to defend an airborne player, and you know, Blackman running the floor, there really was no intent by Saw. I just think he wasn't able to pull up.
So Blackman gonna shoot 2, no flagrant ones there.
Yeah,
just a common foul.
Yeah, the explanation we got is kind of what we were talking about. There was no real ill intent. They thought that he might even be trying to hold him up, but if you're Saw, you don't want to put yourself in that situation.
Blackman with a couple of free throws. He has 9 points. Rutgers down by 10. And Deshaun Freeman back on the floor. More extended break for him on the bench this time.
Let's tip the hat to Josh Newkirk and the job he's done since he's drawn the assignment on Corey Sanders. He has been fantastic in that regard.
Really locked him up.
Look at Hurd to get over the top of that screen. I mean, he's working off.
Three-pointer that time short by Nigel Johnson. Still trying to get him going offensively. That's a man's dunk right there, folks.
And how about the lead by Devontae Green?
Wow. Freeman trying to go up with it. It was poked away by Bryant. But on the other end.
You go from defense to offense very quickly. Devontae Green with the lead for Thomas Bryant for our Motors Insurance Group drive to the hoop. And He filled the express lane very, very well, did the big fella. And if you're Devontae Green, nice job of understanding. If the big dog runs, you got to feed him.
Looked like his head was above the cylinder from our vantage point. And Bryant's going to check out for Green. Or for Davis, excuse me.
He's making visual contact. But what a beautiful pass by Green as well. It was a bounce pass, but it wasn't down below the big guy's knees. He was able to catch that and maintain the momentum going to the rim.
Out of bounds. Officials getting together, and they're going to give it to Indiana. Well, Indiana, known for shooting the three, one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country. They're doing all this from inside. They've only made one three-point basket all afternoon. Omarui trying to work through a couple of different screens that time from the Hoosiers, up by 12. And a foul. They'll pick up Omarui again, trying to cut through some defenders.
And what they got him with was the reach. He grabbed the jersey to try to impede the progress of Green, and the official up here caught him.
Double bonus. A couple of free throws coming for Devontae Green. Steve Pikiel's club came out of the gates, and they were playing like their hair was on fire. Right now, it just slowed down. And how much is that Deshaun Freeman is not at 100%?
I mean, that's certainly a part of it, because he's a big part of what they've done, especially on the offensive glass. But we've talked about what Indiana's been able to do offensively. I think it started on the defensive end for the Hoosiers. They really clamped down, and when Newkirk moved on to Sanders, that took away the primary offensive option for Rutgers, which was really hurting Indiana. And Newkirk was given the challenge, and he has responded very, very well.
Couple of free throws by Devontae Green. 13 points for Sanders. Nobody else on the roster with more than 4. Good backdoor cut. And
Newkirk again, Jeff. He was beaten, but the recovery speed, it wasn't the best bounce pass, but the hustle by Newkirk, he opens up. And what I mean by that, he's beaten the backdoor cut, plants his foot, and watch Newkirk open up. He opens up. If he doesn't do that, there's no way he's going to be able to see that. A better pass might have been able to lead Sanders to the rim, but you cannot fault the effort or the execution by Newkirk defensively.
Indiana allowing their opponents to shoot 41%. Their defense is at about a Mach 9 right now. Freeman inside, got it tied up. Jallo ends up with the loose ball and puts it in.
Not a thing of beauty, but Rutgers needed a basket desperately.
Yeah, they've really been struggling from the floor, not necessarily in the field goal percentage department. They've turned it over 10 times in this game, but just a good offensive possession. They've been jonesing for that.
Now, with the way that Rutgers is extending their defense, Indiana potentially has a chance at another backdoor play. Look at how far out Rutgers is defending on the three-point line.
Poked away. Indiana ends up with it. Blackman
Double dribble.
with a double dribble. Got a cut, landed in his lap.
Thomas Bryant showing you why it pays to run the floor. Hasn't been able to get anything easy. He's excited, as are the Hoosiers up at home.
For a showdown with Northwestern. Coverage starts at 7:30 Eastern on BTN and streaming live on BTN to go.
Thomas Bryant ran the floor extremely well. But we're going to have a chance to freeze it. Watch where this pass hits him. Right here, right at the numbers. Not down here, not down here. So he's able to maintain that momentum that he was able to build up running down the floor and complete it. If that pass is off to the left or to the right or lower, chances are we don't have that highlight play. Great job by Devontae Green.
And that rim needs a Band-Aid. Thomas Bryant doing some work here this afternoon. Nice backdoor pass. Williams finished it. Great pass. You were talking about great passes from Green. Deshaun Freeman.
This is a little Princeton offense wrinkle. When you dribble at your teammate, That's an automatic dive. And Freeman, watch where this pass is. Again, leading Williams, the recipient, right to the rim. Williams understanding you have to put your shoulder to the rim, make the defender come through. And Indiana has executed very well. But how about the job Rutgers did in that situation, coming off the dead ball situation? They clear the side of the floor. A good delivery by Freeman, who is playing on fumes right now.
Mike Williams at the line. This is a guy who needs to get it going offensively a little bit. Haven't been down the last couple of games, single digits the last two. Second leading scorer on the team heading into last weekend.
He's their best three-point shooter, about 35%.
Juwan Morgan right around the corner.
And Indiana returns the favor. They find a matchup they like, and they spread that side of the floor and allow Morgan to turn the corner with his strong hand.
Williams grabs his offensive rebound. Couldn't get the roll, but he's going to go to the line. Spark plug for Rutgers, but Juwan Morgan first.
Watch this side of the floor. Completely spread out. Excellent spacing by Indiana. And understanding Morgan does, Najala, that is not his comfort zone defensively. And his teammates did a wonderful job, Jeff, of spreading the floor. You didn't see another white jersey clogging up that driving lane for Morgan.
Williams with a couple of free throws coming.
You didn't see any white jerseys clogging up the lane. And Jala was saying, hey, a red jersey to help me out might have been a nice thing.
Under 3 minutes to play here in Bloomington. Rutgers hanging in there. Some big free throws by Williams. Don't forget the State Farm halftime report coming up. Dave Rebson, Stephen Bardo, Mike DeCourcy standing by out in Chicago. Lots to talk about on this big day in the Big Ten. Big day yesterday, too. Penn State with a big win against Minnesota. Seven to shoot.
2-3 being in zone employed here. Now the guy was open. The unfortunate part for Indiana, he was sitting 2 rows deep in the bleachers.
Just the third turnover for Indiana. They've played pretty darn well on the offensive end.
Yeah, 10-3 advantage to Indiana in that category. 17 points off those miscues for Indiana.
When you're in the 300s in the NCAA ranks, it's usually not a good thing. But they played really well this afternoon. Sanders, tough shot.
Man, Newkirk is getting the work done defensively.
Might be the first one into the ice bath after this game today is Blackman. No, Laurent with a good, strong rebound. Went right up to his chin after a couple of turnovers earlier.
Good dig in there by Anunoby. Really good job by Anunoby. Good team defense by Indiana. Morgan walled up. They're trying to isolate down there on the block. Morgan did a very good job of walling up. And then watch Anunoby. We talked about him covering ground. And he has some powerful mitts. I mean, he was going to take that thing out of there, and then a good job of digging it out by Anunoby.
Curtis Jones coming in to help out as well. Newkirk from 3, rattled in and out.
Good block out by Laurent there. Really good job.
Indiana just 1 for 9 from beyond the arc. Sanders drives. What a play!
Wow. That was a big-time play because that was a good contest by Morgan. He came over there giving some size, and he maintained verticality. That was just a difficult conversion by Sanders.
15 first-half points for Corey Sanders. Doing work on Blackman defensively. Morgan, offensive foul. Jallo with a better job that time. Morgan flushed on him earlier.
And they tried to isolate him. We saw him isolate Morgan at the high point. But watch Sanders. Now Morgan does a really good job. His hands are straight up. He has to bend all the way around. The rim was a rumor to Sanders. I mean, he was guessing where that was because of the rotation over by Jawan Morgan, and then a good job defensively by Rutgers, sensing that they wanted to get Morgan in an isolation, and a good job of moving their feet defensively for the Scarlet Knights.
Big possession here for Rutgers. 45 seconds before halftime.
Yeah, they got to figure out a way to get the ball to Sanders with the shot clock counting down.
There he goes. Kicks and a good look from Johnson. Couldn't hit it. The rebound tapped out. McRoberts with the hustle play. McRoberts pays it off at the other end.
Got to reward the guy. He's the whole reason you had a transition opportunity. He wasn't able to corral the rebound, but he batted it around, creating the numbers opportunity, and then he runs the floor and creates.
Don't forget State Farm halftime report coming up. Mike Hall, Stephen Bardo, Mike DeCourcy. 6 seconds away. Sanders drives. Couldn't get it. Rebound to Indiana at the buzzer. And Indiana goes into the locker room with a 9-point lead.
They did a much better job of taking care of the basketball. That's really been the story. Almost 20 points for Indiana coming off Rutgers turnovers. That was an area of concern. And the job that Josh Newkirk did defensively for periods of time on this guy, Corey Sanders, is what has allowed Indiana to climb out of a deficit into a halftime lead. But this game is not over, regardless of the athleticism being displayed by Thomas Bryant.
Welcome you courtside along with Sean Morris, Jeff Levering with you. At the beginning of the broadcast, we talked about turnovers, and now Indiana leading the conference in turnovers, but right now Rutgers with 11 in the first half. Indiana kind of flipping the script.
+7 turnover margin in favor of Indiana. They've been able to convert that into 17 points. That's really been the difference. Defensively, Indiana ratcheted up the pressure, led by Josh Newkirk. The job he did for periods of time on Corey Sanders was really the offensive flow for Rutgers. Really a big story as well.
Sanders and Blackman, they have been the guys who we've been talking about with the offense. Those are our auto owners game leaders. Corey Sanders with 15 first half points, but Newkirk did a nice job on him the latter part of the first half. And James Blackman with 9 points in the first half. So we talked about the offense from Sanders, but his defense has been in really tip-top shape against Blackman so far this afternoon.
Yeah, he's not allowed a whole lot of easy shots for Blackman. Sanders getting it done on both ends of the floor for Rutgers thus far.
Mike Williams coming out of the gates as a starter for Rutgers and called for a travel. That's turnover number 12 for the Scarlet Knights.
And who forced it? Josh Newkirk. He's there on the catch. Williams not able to get his feet situated, will come the other way.
And Williams on the floor instead of Nigel Johnson. There's a stop-up three for Johnson, and he's short. Robert that time. A good rebound by Saw. Indiana in the first half, just 1 for 10 from three-point range. The backdoor cut. Williams with a circus shot, couldn't go down, and an offensive rebound.
Nice job by Sav, not panicking.
C.J. Geddes, nice turnaround, everything but the make, and now he's charged with a personal. He banged into Johnson.
And Geddes did a good job of establishing position, but his momentum was going the wrong way.
Rutgers shot the ball well, 52%. But the big story, as we talked about, was the turnover numbers.
Yeah, a lot of empty possessions for Rutgers, and unfortunately for the Scarlet Knights, a lot of those turnovers were the live ball variety. The most spectacular, the dunk by Bryant on the open floor.
Newkirk working around Corey Sanders that time. 11-point lead for the Hoosiers. Backdoor cut again. Sanders spotted by Morgan.
Man, did he get off the floor quickly. That's another excellent execution by Rutgers. They're just not able to complete because of the athleticism of Morgan. Watch Morgan. He comes up, meets him at the apex, and sends that back and keeps it in bounds. They just weren't able to corral it. Really good job by Jawan Morgan of taking away the set play of Rutgers.
5th turnover for Indiana. They've done a really nice job of holding on to the basketball in the offensive possessions. Go down low to Geddes. Blackman coming out of nowhere nearly with the script. Geddes able to finish it off over Bryant.
And Geddes very fortunate there because Saw, showing his inexperience, he ran down toward Geddes and took his defender with him.
Newkirk going baseline. Tough shot. Wow. Josh Newkirk.
Well, Newkirk getting it done on both ends. Defensively, he has been phenomenal here this afternoon.
First points of the half coming here. He's got 4 the opening couple of minutes. Geddes isolated now with Bryant. Robert Johnson now has the assignment. Geddes just inside the three-point line.
Nice job by Sanders of drawing the attention and kicking it out by Geddes. That's the second mid-range he's hit.
And Blackman thought he was fouled, got the layup. Sanders was 1 on 4.
Last year, he would have probably attempted to score. Better decision-making this year by far by Sanders.
Williams was trying to get rid of the basketball, went right into the hands of Morgan. Straightaway 3 from Blackman, or wide open, I should say, and it rimmed in and out. That's been the kind of afternoon it's been from distance for Indiana. They're just 1 for 12 from beyond the arc. Eight to shoot for Rutgers. And a foul on the drive. We'll pick up Bryant. Tonight, it's an all-new episode of BTN's original series, The Journey, Big Ten Basketball 2017. Then our Hoops experts cover the major topics in college basketball and Big Ten basketball and beyond. It all starts at 9:30 Eastern tonight on BTN. Should be a jam-packed show. Coach Peichel of Rutgers featured in The Journey tonight, and how he got to where he is through his experience at UConn. Wide open 3 by Sanders, couldn't go. The ball fake by Blackman. And he got it back. Robert Johnson. Rebound pulled down by Jallo. Notable that Thomas Bryant picked up his 3rd personal a couple of moments ago. And Anobi poked it away from Freeman.
Nice pass. Better block.
Morgan defensively here in the second half coming alive.
And what Jallo needed to do, not to diminish the defensive play by Morgan, but if we take another look at that, he's fading away from contact rather than putting his shoulder to the rim and making Morgan come through him. He'll learn.
Some nice defense being shown by the Hoosiers all afternoon. And Anobi gives it off. Nice move by Johnson. And Anobi with an assist.
How about the screen that Freeman ran into trying to get over the top by Anunoby?
Those are the little things OG does. It's just a sophomore that helps his team. Now a steal. And Anobi with a good bounce pass. Newkirk up and under. Timeout, Rutgers.
It's been the defensive end of the floor which has spurred Indiana. They have turned Rutgers over. Many of those of the open floor variety. Morgan shows you what happens when you don't put a shoulder to the rim. And when you get a shoulder from Anunoby, you're going to feel it. Rutgers feeling it right now.
From the first half.
You can't get this off your typical beta player. This is 3D technology. Wonderful job by Bryant of running the floor. We talked about it when it initially happened. The pass from Devontae Green was really, really important because it allowed the momentum of the larger player, Bryant, to not break stride, catch, and finish. And you saw it live, and then you saw it in 3D.
28 cameras around Assembly Hall. Thanks to the Mark Cuban Center for Sports, Media, and Technology here at IU. The 3D replays. Sean, I know you're happy they didn't have those when you played, right?
They barely had his word.
More great defense from Indiana. And Juwan Morgan fell down, grabbing at his foot. And the ball hit him in the shoulder, went out of bounds, going to go to Rutgers. And a timeout called by Indiana. Indiana comfortably in front at home. came away victorious, and arguably the best team ever assembled by that man in the middle in the trench coat, Bobby Knight.
Finished that season undefeated in their own right, and third from the right there, Scott May. There are a lot of folks that would tell you that if he didn't break his arm prior to the game versus Kentucky the season before, they might have had back-to-back unblemished records.
Deshaun Freeman fouled on his drive. They'll get Anunoby with the personal. And Freeman's going to go to the line. The Rutgers team just doesn't get enough data for how good they were in 75-76.
Oh, they were undefeated the way that they did. And Morgan, we saw him before we went to break, Jeff. I don't know if he turned his ankle or someone stepped on it, but remember, he was down in that left corner nearest to the Indiana bench, and they were running something for him in the corner. He was down on the ground. They went out of bounds.
He's headed back to the locker room right now. Keep you up to date on his status if we get it. Anunoby stonewalled by Freeman, and a missed three again from Indiana.
Good job by Freeman of moving his feet on Anunoby.
Nigel Johnson on the floor for the first time here in the second half. Anunoby, another steal up ahead. Anunoby! He has 5 steals, a new career high for the sophomore.
That's the second time that Anunoby, we saw him in the first half, honored the scouting report, understanding the dribble handoff was coming and jumping it. Rutgers needs to take advantage of that the next time down, and we saw them almost take advantage of it there. Anunoby really aggressively coming after them defensively. A backdoor cut may be in order, because if you don't, and you don't complete the dribble handoff, this is what happens to you.
Anunoby, high flyer. Missed a couple of ball games because of a bad ankle in the non-conference schedule. Just such a difference maker on the defensive end. And great energy coming off the bench for Tom Crean. Another missed free throw for Rutgers.
I mean, this covers so much ground, whether it's with the dribble or defensively. He's one of those rare guys, Jeff, that can guard, literally can guard 2 guys in space. So you need to make sure that if you're playing Indiana and he's the primary defender on someone, that you have the secondary offensive option even further away than necessary because of the amount of ground he can cover.
Oh, Bryant had it in and out of his hand. Otherwise, we're looking at another Band-Aid. And then a missed layup. And Thomas Bryant screaming at the officials on his way back as Geddes was fouled by Blackman. Not a great sequence on the other side for Indiana.
Going black, Bryant runs the floor, and he just loses this on the way up. You know, no one hits him. I mean, that's just one of those things that just happens, and comes to the other side, and they're not able to convert. But his counterpart, the big from Rutgers, C.J. Geddes, runs the floor and lifts for the cup.
And he misses the first. 6 for 15 from the foul line for Rutgers.
And when you struggle to score, you have to take advantage of all the free ones you can possibly get. And Rutgers 65% as a team coming into this ball game, next to last in the conference.
1 out of 2 for Geddes. Trying to scratch and claw their way back. Nigel Johnson locked up on Newkirk right now. Go down low to Bryant. Good job by Geddes with a great pass. A phenomenal block too by Omoruyi. Everything was really nice on that sequence. Indiana with another steal up ahead. Anunoby. Fast break points are starting to come in a flurry for the Hoosiers.
As are the turnovers for the Scarlet Knights. And unfortunately for Rutgers on the road, a variety of those have been of the live ball variety.
Geddes with an offensive rebound and putback. It's the first field goal for Rutgers since 17 and a half minutes in this second half. Bryant draws the block on C.J. Geddes. And it's not easy to get Geddes on the ground either.
And I think what happened is a good open inside pivot by Bryant. And he wants to turn the corner. Another half step by Geddes. He has a chance to draw the offensive foul. But watch this inside pivot. Made famous by Jack Sickman. The rip move. easy call for the official to make. If Geddes is able to take another half step toward the baseline, we might have had an offensive foul rather than a blocking foul, which was the proper call there.
Mike Williams back on the floor for Rutgers. Freeman nearly with a turnover. Devontae Green running the point for the time being for Indiana.
Good job by Williams of battling the much larger Morgan down there.
Good to see Juwan Morgan back on the floor after going to the locker room a few minutes ago. Bryant, tough shot. Freeman with a rebound.
Good job again by Geddes of taking advantage of his size.
Nigel Johnson with a good ball fake. But now the Rutgers Scarlet Knights to reset the offense. Sanders scoreless in the second half.
Yeah, they've got to reverse the ball. It's been on the right side of the floor the whole time. Indiana has only had to defend half their real estate here.
Freeman draws the foul, and Juwan Morgan picks up the personal.
Indiana getting it done on the defensive end of the floor. OG Anunoby a big reason for it. He leaks out. You're not going to do anything about this if you're Rutgers. Geddes exercising tremendous judgment there, and Indiana very pleased where they are in the second half. His continued improvement has allowed Mark Turgeon the opportunity to move Melo Trimble off the ball for periods of time.
More missed free throws for Rutgers. 7 of 17 now from the stripe. Freeman missed them both. It's about the only thing on Deshaun Freeman that you can kind of knock, the free throw shooting.
8 double-doubles for Freeman, and got to give him a lot of credit because he's playing. He is not at full strength.
He's been sick. That one off the hands of Bryant. Going to go to Rutgers. Deshaun Freeman is playing on absolute fumes here this afternoon. And a real tight turnaround for Rutgers, too. Indiana last played on Tuesday. Rutgers played on Thursday, so just a couple of days to prep for one of the best teams in the conference. Good move by Sanders. A tough shot.
That's a tough shot. I mean, you contrast the easy baskets garnered by Indiana with the difficulty that Rutgers. I mean, that was a very, very difficult shot for Corey Sanders and the Scarlet Knights.
Anunoby having a great half and missed that shot. Sanders battling for the rebound and pushed out by Devontae Green. This is Corey Sanders last weekend in Iowa, one of the more acrobatic shots we've seen. Ball was coming out. He was thinking about dunking had it not been for Dom Mule.
And Dom Mule, even though he was the victim, so to speak, in that play, Dom Mule was the hero for Iowa in that ball game. And Rutgers showed you why they're going to be a tough out for not only this game, but the remainder of the season. They battled and had Iowa down in Iowa City at the 10-minute mark of the second half.
And they had Northwestern down as well in the second half. 3 by Johnson, no. Only 2 makes on the afternoon for Indiana from distance in 15 tries.
You know, with Bryant with 3 fouls, I might try to see if I can isolate Geddes. Maybe with a high pick and roll, or get him down there on the block. Get a touch for him.
14-point lead right now. Mike Williams in rhythm.
That's a tough kid. I really like Mike Williams. He just goes about his business. The expression on his face never changes. Not afraid to stick his nose in there either offensively or defensively.
He's been a spark plug for Steve Peichel this year off the bench. Play starters minutes, though. Newkirk bobbing and weaving now. Jones. Curtis Jones with another triple.
He was 2 or 3 from 3 last time out versus Maryland, and has also knocked down a couple triples here today. There's the ISO. I like that if you're Rutgers.
Deshaun Freeman, offensive rebound a couple of times.
And that's what they do. The Scarlet Knights, 16 offensive boards per ball game, leading the conference in that category. Now, certainly, again, the big reason for that is that they're not the best shooting team in the conference, but they do retrieve 39% of their misses. That's second in the conference.
Right now, winning the rebound battle against Indiana. Indiana has not lost a rebounding margin all year.
But where Indiana has the comparative advantage today is taking care of the basketball, and that's been an area of concern for them all season.
Anunoby and Mike Williams skies for the rebound. Sanders up ahead. Sanders, another tough shot. He's going to go to the line.
Savvy play by Deshaun Freeman at the top of the key. He seals off Anunoby, eliminating the athletic opportunity for Anunoby to come and block that play. Watch at the top of your screen, right there. Freeman takes Anunoby out of the play. That allows the clear driving angle, and Anunoby can't recover because Freeman took him up the lane and then sealed it.
Freeman absolutely gassed right now. He's ready for a break and a full-time line change as Sanders again with another missed free throw for Rutgers.
Well, apparently they've been studying the Shaquille O'Neal free throw shooting video, unfortunately for the Scarlet Knights today.
Chance to get back into this ball game, and Sanders missed a couple out of bounds, and it's going to go to Indiana. They had a chance at an offensive rebound there. The shooting woes continue for Rutgers. Better high percentage today from the floor, but the free throws not very good.
Well, one thing that has been consistent for Rutgers all year, including this afternoon, has been the effort and the execution of what they can really kind of control, and that's defense and rebounding. They've done an admirable job of that all season.
Really tough matchup that time for Jallo underneath. I believe they got Jallo with the personal, trying to front Thomas Bryant. Second on Jallo. Lots to be excited about if you're Rutgers in this program being built by Steve Peichel. No good building blocks and some real valuable time for some of the young kids this season. An offensive foul on Newkirk. Rutgers hanging in there against Hoosiers. 13-point game under 8 to play.
Something that Indiana's been able to hang their hat on as we take a look at our Quicken Loans. Amazing performance by Indiana all year on the backboard. You mentioned it, Jeff. Rutgers has an opportunity to break that streak of potentially out-rebounding Indiana. But what Indiana has done well today is on the defensive end of the floor. 12 steals thus far for the Hoosiers, a season high. Half of those coming from Anunoby.
Mike Williams. Big miss right there. Trying to tap it back was Jallo. Robert Johnson going the other way for the Hoosiers. Just into the ball game, Zach McRoberts. Seems like every time he touches the floor, good things happen for Tom Crean's Hoosiers. Thomas Bryant. And that'll be a blocking foul on Jallo. It's not one guy that I will want to try and face up with a full head of steam.
And you could see that was a set situation by Indiana. The dribble handoff usually goes to a guard, but here they understand that this is not necessarily a comfort zone for the Rutgers bigs. They kind of pull them away. They tried to recover in time, but that is a full head of steam going to the strong hand by Thomas Bryant.
Third foul on Jallo. Bryant makes the first of a couple of free throws. First points in the second half for Thomas Bryant. Where Sanders checks back in, and Deshaun Freeman as well for Rutgers. C.J. Geddes, a late start to the table. He'll go into the next dead ball. And on the end line, evidently. And another unforced error for Rutgers, their 18th turnover.
Compared to only 8 for Indiana. A +10 margin for the Hoosiers today, and they've been able to convert those 18 miscues into, so far, 23 points.
Big difference in the ball game right now. That point differential off turnovers. And Indiana's done such a nice job of hanging on to the basketball. Only 8. Blackman driving.
Yep.
Good finish and a foul.
Nice job of spreading the floor by Indiana. But if you're Rutgers or anyone defending Blackman, you have to force him off that strong hand. He started with the left hand, but you know he's more often than not going to come back to the right. So if you're Rutgers or any opposition, you want to try to jump his right hand and force him to go left. Not that he can't score going left, but his production drops significantly going to his left rather than when he's able to turn the corner and either step into a jump shot or get to the rim with the strong hand.
Blackman completes the three-point play.
And that was a tough conversion by Blackman because C.J. Geddes came over strong and fouled him across the arm, and he was able to convert.
His 4th personal for Geddes, too. Quality minutes today on Thomas Bryant.
Good open up by Johnson. Really good job by Johnson.
Rutgers got it back and able to turn it into points, though Corey Sanders never gave up on it.
No, and I tell you what, that's a shot a year ago Sanders would have shot. But he made the better play to his teammate there. I like the way that Sanders has matured under Coach Steve Pike.
It's almost like night and day difference between last year and this year with Sanders. McRoberts was locked up with Williams.
How about the block out by Williams? Giving up some size, but not giving up in tenacity.
He's been doing that all afternoon. There's Sanders, missed that shot. Freeman with another offensive rebound. Goes right back up with it. Couldn't get it. Geddes, second chance, and a foul. And Rutgers is all over the boards.
There's times that the execution is not there, but you can't say that about the effort on either end of the floor for Rutgers, either today or throughout the course of this season. They're not able to convert the initial offering, but Freeman comes in, keeps it alive, and Geddes will shoot a couple as a result.
Just 35% from the line today for Rutgers. Geddes misses the first. Big Ten Wrestling coming up next. Number 5 Nebraska taking on number 13 Michigan. Coverage starts after our game, presented by Cliff Keen Athletic on BTN and BTN to go. Geddes 1 out of 2. Needed that one. 14-point ball game. Rutgers still hanging in there, under 6 to play.
Now with Jallow in the ball game, he's guarding Deron Davis. That's a mismatch in Indiana's favor if they want to exploit it.
Davis with just 6 minutes played in the first half. Blackman with the floater.
Good job by Blackman of pulling up and not going all the way to the rim, and Davis did his role as well, sealing off the help.
Jallow down low and a tough pass. Nicely fronted by Anunoby.
That's a situation, Jeff. You don't throw it to your teammate, you throw it away from the defense, and when you don't do it, Indiana shows you they will make you pay as they go again, as they have throughout the course of this afternoon. From defense to offense, very, very quickly. Good initial post up. Defense knocks it away, and Indiana hitting on all cylinders. For Jallow, an inexperienced player, rather than throw it to the hand, the guide hand of Freeman, who threw it right into the hand of the defense, and even if Freeman was able to get a hand on that, his momentum, because how he was ducking in, was taking him away from the play. So you needed to lead him into the play. That's something that Jallow will get better on. Good set, just a breakdown in execution for Rutgers and Indiana, as they've done all afternoon, Jeff, making the Scarlet Knights pay.
Really strong defense all afternoon from Indiana. It was a real quick flurry from Rutgers. Into the first media timeout, Indiana flipped the script. Laurent underneath, good move on the baseline.
And a good job by Freeman going up the line and not allowing himself to get in the way of Laurent.
Rare unforced error, just the 9th turnover for Indiana in the ballgame. Rutgers needs to take advantage, though. They haven't been able to capitalize on these situations off turnovers. This pass pass, but a better defensive effort by Blackman. And Anobi fouled by Laurent.
That's the 4th time that Indiana has responded appropriately on that little wrinkle. When you see someone dribbling toward a teammate, defensively, you have to open up. And this is a really good job by Indiana's coaching staff and the team in understanding the tendencies of Rutgers. Really good job by Blackman. And when I talk about opening up, you saw a great example of it right there and going with that inside hand to knock it away. That's the 4th time we've seen Indiana do that.
Last year, not sure Indiana makes those types of defensive adjustments, but they're certainly doing it here this afternoon against Rutgers. That's where all their offensive firepower is coming from today. The points off the turnovers.
And the defensive execution has been excellent in those 4 sequences. Rutgers made it a little bit easier than it needed to be, Jeff, because you don't throw the pass to where your teammate is. You throw the pass to where your teammate is going to be, especially in a backdoor situation. So if that pass is maybe another half a foot or a foot out in front to make the offensive recipient go after it, you might have a different result.
21st turnover for Rutgers in this game.
Good shot by Williams of being there on the catch on Black.
Tough move inside. Robert Johnson. Just too many weapons for the Hoosiers.
That kid's really good. You know, I just love what he brings to this team. He's a very good barometer. When he's playing well, the majority of the time, so is the team.
Really quiet 10 points for Robert Johnson. And now Indiana starting to pull away, up by 21 points. Came into the arena today, Sean, and you can kind of feel a little bit of tenseness with this fan base as Blackman misfires on the 3 and Freeman goes up ahead. Freeman 1-on-3. And the foul on the Hoosiers. Take a quick timeout, finish that thought when we return here in Bloomington, and some more 3D replays presented from the Mark Cuban Center for Sports Media and Technology here at IU.
And right now, Rutgers feels like they're in the Shark Tank when Indiana's able to get up and down the floor. You contrast where that pass leads Anunoby to the situation that Rutgers has. Now watch this. It makes Anunoby stretch out for it. That allows his momentum to utilize to his advantage. He's not able to convert on one side, but he is on the other.
Freeman at the line right now, trying to get Rutgers back into this one. And he makes the free throw. He's now 2 for 9 from the free throw strike.
And that hasn't been an area of strength for Rutgers all day. But I tell you what, as that young guy goes to the bench, you have to give him a lot of credit, because whatever was in the tank, and there wasn't nearly as much as you're used to seeing from that junior college transfer, he laid it out there. And that's how you build a program. When you see a guy who's not at his best, who's willing to go out there and lay it on the line, that sends a message to not only the guys that are in the program, but guys that are considering the program.
Deron Davis was about ready to flush, but was fouled by Dorson. That's OG Anunoby. He is our Motel 6th man of the game today. 11 points, 3 boards, and 7 steals. Really doing everything today for Indiana. I mean, he's on his way to a double-double. You don't see it a lot of times with steals.
And he just did a fantastic job of jumping those dribble handoffs, getting in between the Rutgers players, and led to some breakout opportunities. And he's one of the main reasons that Indiana, how about this stat? Right now, 33 of the 73 points that Indiana has have come off Rutgers turnovers.
It's really an incredible number today. 21 of those turnovers for Rutgers. And we thought it was going to be the other way around, where Rutgers was going to be forcing a lot of turnovers from Indiana, a team that this year has turned it over a lot, coming in with almost 15.5 a game. And right now, Indiana running away with it on their home floor. They've played really fundamentally sound basketball on the offensive end.
They got McRoberts, I think, with a hold on the baseline cut.
Double bonus and more free throws coming for Rutgers. Eugene Omoruyi. A really good first half did Omoruyi, the freshman. One of the 2 freshmen. Issa Cham, another And Steve Peichel just talks so glowingly about his Chom checks in for Mike Williams. Getting some valuable time here in their freshman seasons.
And Chom in particular, as Coach Peichel's able to recruit and get some other players in there, a similar player like Chom in the future, in the next 3 or 4 years, might be able to utilize a red shirt. They just don't have that opportunity right now.
McRoberts with a tough shot over Chom. Roberts with 4 points off the bench in limited minutes. Chom, a sharp shooter. Go down low, and a block by Davis. Rutgers not giving up, though. Body still on the floor. You love to see that if you're Steve Peichel.
And I tell you what, good execution. They're just not able to complete the play because of the athleticism of Davis.
Just little things for Rutgers to build upon every game they play. And to Rutgers' benefit as Blackman fires from 3 short. McRoberts on the tap, nope. And Dorson with the rebound. Steve Peichel is always positive. Sanders blocked away. Anunoby.
How quickly did he get off the floor? I mean, forget about one step. I mean, he was just able to explode off the floor. And you contrast that with, Sanders is tired. He's played just about every minute and exerted a ton of effort, especially defensively.
Blackman misfiring badly from the 3 there. He's 0 for 8 from beyond the arc. 4 to shoot. And a foul offensively on Davis. See the upcoming schedule for Indiana. They've enjoyed a lot of home cooking here recently, but 3 of their next 5 on the road.
Penn State, their next opponent for Indiana, coming off a 2-game winning streak. They defeated Michigan State in the Palestra, then followed it up yesterday at home versus Minnesota.
Penn State 3-2 in the conference. A gritty win yesterday by 2 points. A couple of big free throws by Tony Carr. Just about a minute to play. Issa Chom. Nice move inside. Final minute.
Yeah, he's known as a 3-point shooter, but showing some versatility.
Putting it on the floor. Getting himself in the score column. It's a big win for Indiana. Didn't feel like a must-win. A lot of people thought it was a must-win. They came out. They played great defense here this afternoon at home against a tough Rutgers team. Greg Galon's going to check in off the bench. Freddie McSwain's been on the floor. Tom Crean is going to enjoy his 12th win of the year. Don't forget, coming up next, we got wrestling. Nebraska and Michigan, 2 top 15 programs.
And Indiana still ratcheting up the defensive intensity.
Goes from the first man on the roster all the way down to the bottom. Issa Chom, a little short on the shot, rebounded by McRoberts. And Indiana is going to run out the clock. Maybe they won't. Freddie McSwain was going for the alley-oop.
And Coach Tom Crean was not pleased with that. He's not mad at an official. He's mad he wanted the ball pulled out, and it wasn't hasty.
Tom Crean, the Indiana Hoosiers come away with a 19-point win here at home.